Hello, my name is William Davis, and I will be presenting on ramp metering, an active traffic management solution. This is for intelligent transportation systems in the spring of 2022. And we're going to jump right into it. What is active traffic management? Active traffic management is the idea of dynamically giving drivers information as they're going through their system. This can be during a freeway or what have you. This would give travelers the information to make decisions beforehand. For example, on the left image, you see those two signs there that says merge. It's giving those drivers information and telling them to merge over because up ahead there might be construction or an incident that causes those lanes to be closed further on down. But what is ramp metering? Ramp metering is an active traffic management solution which dynamically it dynamically decreases the rate at which cars enter the freeway. This sounds a little bit weird, but what they're doing is they're adding a signal onto the ramp, and they're only letting one car through at a time. Now, what this does is it reduces the rate at which cars enter the freeway. So, for example, at a typical intersection, you might have multiple cars entering all at the same time. After the light turns red at the intersection, all those cars in that queue lane would go right on into the freeway. But with ramp metering, they would have to stop on the ramp and then wait their turn to go, one at a time. Now, why? What's the goal? What's the goal of ramp metering? The goal of ramp metering is to increase the efficiency of the system. It's to reduce travel time, increase the reliability of the travel time, increase traffic volume and throughput, and to reduce crashes and to improve transit operations. Does ramp metering reduce travel times? The Minnesota Department of Transportation had to conduct a study on the ramp metering system. This was done I'm not sure when it was done, but we'll gloss over that. Does ramp metering reduce travel times? It does. Minnesota Department of Transportation shut off their ramp metering system for 2 weeks and then turned them back on. In that time, they found the following information where you can see those blue lines there show this average speed with ramp metering, and the solid red line in the middle shows the average speed without ramp metering. Additionally, you can see those dashed lines at the top and bottom show those maximums and minimums. And if you look over here at Fish Lake, I believe that's what that is. Fish Lake, the average speed, not the average speed, excuse me. The minimum speed that Fish Lake had during that time was 0, which isn't great. It's a great case for ramp metering. It typically increases the speed on the freeway system, which is great. It's good. Does ramp metering increase traffic volumes and throughput? It does. Again, as you can see right here, this is from the Minnesota Department of Transportation during their ramp metering study. The blue line represents the with ramp metering, the red line is without. And on the left, you can see our traffic. This is our axis of traffic volume, vehicles per hour per lane. And over time, during those afternoon hours, ramp metering performed better overall. It allows for more volume to be on the freeway at once. And it's just better. Does ramp metering reduce crashes? Yes, it does. That light blue color on the left is with ramp metering, and that darkish reddish color on the right is without. And typically, we'll have less crashes overall too. Now, how does this all add up? Well, mainly, we're avoiding crashes and we're increasing travel time reliability. That's our main benefit, our main total annual benefit over here is in the top left, $40 million. $40 million. In the bottom left, you see our annual costs of ramp metering and all congestion management capabilities. So we'll have $7.8 million invested total into congestion management. and $2.6 million invested into ramp metering. This, the $7.8 million gives us a total benefit cost ratio of 5-1, which isn't great for ramp metering. Typically what you want to see is 15-1, and that is what you see when you compare the 2.6 million to the 40 million, is about 15-1, which is much more close to what we're expecting with ramp metering. So what are some challenges for ramp metering? Well, first is going to be costs. So ramp metering does cost quite a lot, in my opinion. I don't know very much about about costs, but I assume that $100,000 per a typical single lane ramp meter. This is the construction cost for that, $100,000. It's going to be kind of expensive. Another challenge that we might face is public opposition. So typically, whenever you slow people down as they're trying to get onto the freeway where they're going to go fast, they're not going to like that very much. So it's important that we tell folks what we're doing and why we're doing it, what the annual cost. I think if you tell people that we're saving society $40 million a year, that will help ease their worries a lot. And it also increases their traffic reliability too, so you're not going to get stuck in traffic very, very often anymore. It definitely is a boon. It is good, you know. And heavy ramp volumes is another challenge that we might face. This typically happens whenever we don't have the adequate geometry for our system for our ramp metering system at that location. So, for example, over here on the right, you see that those cars starting to pile up onto the minor road because our ramp meter is not fast enough to meet the demand of the on ramp in that general direction. And we're trying to avoid this. However, sometimes it might be inevitable. And that's another challenge that we might face. Final thoughts. The pros and cons of ramp metering system can be found right here. The only thing that I've added right here for the pros is that it's typically low impact. Our low impact system, basically what I mean is we're not buying right of way. You don't have to buy right away for these systems. They're in addition to the geometry that we already have in place at that spot. Additionally, the pros are like high benefit cost ratio, reduces crashes, increases traffic volume, and increases reliability of the system of your travel times as well. The cons, however, are ramp metering needs to be installed along a corridor to be effective. Typically what you're going to see is there are not very many spots where you can add a ramp meter and have it boost the system by itself. You typically need ramp meters along a corridor in order for them to be effective. If you have one ramp meter by itself, it's not going to work. And also public opposition is another con as well. And I think that's about going to be it. In general, ramp metering is pretty good. All right, and thank you for listening.